guys, welcome back to another Wicked Wednesdays. Today I thought I'd do a recreation of a look that I did for American Horror Story themed collab that I did over on Instagram several months back. This is the collaboration. I of course was given season 3 of American Horror Story, so I thought I'd do nothing less than the Cordelia burnt face look. She gets acid thrown in her face. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, sorry if I spoiled that for you. So I just thought if you wanted to know how to recreate that look, I could show you. You'll want to start off by having some silicone-based products to put on your face to create a fake flesh overlay on your whole entire face. I was lucky enough to get these sent to me by Rowe Trading Company, which I believe is an Adelaide-based company, which have just recently started stocking smooth-on products. You will also want some form of pigment colouring to colour the silicone to kind of match your skin tone. However, you do want it a little bit lighter than your natural skin tone. Also just a container to mix the silicone in. Of course, something to mix the silicone with, e.g. a spatula. You will then want some alcohol activated palettes to paint over the top of the silicone. We'll just be wanting mainly reddish tones to go on top of it, just to make it look sore and irritated. As well, you do not want to be putting alcohol activated alcohol activated paints around your eyes, as it is a very sensitive area and you do not want to get 99% alcohol in your eye because that is horrendous and I would not recommend it. I just recommend the Ben Nye effects wheel. You will just be using reddish tones down the bottom here. You will want some Vaseline just to keep this lubricated. The word? I don't know if that's my word of choice, but that's the one I'm going for now. Just so it does not grip the silicone and it can just smooth it out nicely. And I almost forgot, guys, if you're using the alcohol activated palettes, you need some alcohol to activate the palettes. Can't forget it. So we'll just go ahead now and mix the silicone together. If you don't know how silicone works, it comes in 2 parts, a part A and a part B, which cannot be mixed together until you're about to use them, as once they mix together they start to set. So you just want equal parts of that mixed together in a bowl, but I'm going to do that down here so I do not get silicone everywhere. I would of course recommend mixing small batches of the silicone together at once, because once it does start to cure, you don't have a massive working time with it. I would say you probably don't have much longer than 5 minutes working time, and if you're trying to get them nice and smooth, you just want to keep mixing small batches just so you do not waste a lot of silicone. Another thing, guys, please make sure your skin is clean. As per most things that we do, just start with a nice clean base and let's get started. Of course, forget once again, don't wring out, guys. I mean, you can leave it in, it's not diabolical, but you don't really want to get silicone on it. If you've got it applied to your skin, you just want to go through with a Vaseline little spatula and just start smoothing out the edges to blend it into your skin for one. And just creating the texture that you want also. So you want it to look kind of like dinted almost. You want it to be lumpy and bumpy and make it look quite irritated. Make sure you have some tissues on hand just to clean the spatula off when it does get some silicone stuck to it. So I can feel that the silicone is already starting to cure. It is starting to get stringy. It's almost, if you have worked with gelatin before, you know when you can start to tell the gelatin is setting because it does get quite elastic and starts to pull and string. That's pretty much similar to how you can tell when silicone is starting to set. It does not smooth out nicely, it starts to grip, it starts to pull, and you do not want to play with it after that stage, as it will not have the nice textures that you are wanting in it. I did also forget to mention, do not put silicone back into the container that you've already got silicone in. You will want a separate cup. Once the silicone is completely set in there, you can peel it out and reuse that cup, but until then you do not want to mix any uncured silicone with the silicone that's already starting to cure. I hope that came across so you know what I'm talking about, but if not, just use a fresh cup. So now that you have got it all on your face, you do just want to let it fully cure before applying any other makeup to it. This really shouldn't take too long. I'd say the first side that I've already done would nearly be set. The other side that I just did, you may want to give it maybe 5 minutes tops. It really shouldn't need too long at all. It is looking a little bit ridiculous at this stage because of the reflection of the lights, but once you do apply any other makeup on top of that, it should take the shine off it. Although you do want a little bit of shine left on it, which is contradicting myself, just for the fact that when skin is burnt, it usually oozes and it does have a wet effect to it. So now that it is dry, which you can tell just by touching it, it's not sticking to your fingers, you are good to go. Now I would recommend just starting with the eyes and doing the grease paint or any other paint that you have that is safe to use around your eyes in there first, just so you can then kind of match the rest to it, because it can get a little bit hard and you can easily overdo the makeup if you need to match the eyes to the other one. So to do this, I would recommend just breaking off a little bit of makeup sponge, that's the word, I was about to call it foam, and just pinching and pulling off little bits so you have a rugged texture on the bottom. I'll see if you can see that. So if you can see that, just an uneven, bumpy edge. Now you just want to like get the colour on however you can, really. Now I would recommend doing some bits on your hand first, just to get as much colour off it as you can, because you'd much prefer just to apply several layers than putting too much on all at once. So you can see that the grease paints can stick to actual silicone quite harshly, which rubbing it you don't really want to do because you can pull the silicone off, as it is not actually attached to anything, it is just adhered itself. If you were wanting to wear this for a long period of time, I would recommend maybe putting down a bit of spirit gum or something like that beforehand, just so it does hold down the edges nicely. But back to these little bits, don't worry too much. Because you haven't put it too close to your eye, you can go on top of that with a little bit of skin coloured alcohol activated paint and just kind of touch it up a little bit. So now you just want to grab a brush and the alcohol activated palette, go through and have a little bit of a touch up with the red bits. So I'm just mixing together a bit of a skin tone. And you want to make sure your eye is closed because the fumes will get to you. So that has definitely dulled the colour of that. So now just with the red colour, which I believe is just the rose adjuster, you just want to go in and just touch some of the deepest or deeper bits where it looks like the burn has gone through the deepest, or it'll be a little bit more fleshy. Now I'm just swapping palettes to Skin Illustrator Onset Effects palette and just going for a deeper, darker red just to fill in the creases a fair bit more. So there you go guys, that is pretty much the finished look. If you did really want to kind of bring this look all together, I could recommend getting kind of white out or milky contact lenses, just so it does look like your eyes have been affected by the burn. However, mine are dried out, so I could not put them on in today's look, but I did have them in my previous creation of this, which over here I will put, which in reality this look could be just used for any other burnt looks. It does look more like Deadpool's skin than the burns as such in the picture. I put a little bit too many dints in it where it should have been more burnt bigger bits, but it still has the same effect as it would if you just had a burnt acid face, an acid burnt face I think is what I was trying to say. So that is pretty much it. I'm not sure if this is coming through correctly as the lights seem to be distorting it a fair bit on the camera, however in my mirror it does not look quite as severe and bright. So hopefully that does come out through it. So that's it for today's tutorial guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial as much as I did doing it for you. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Don't forget to leave any other suggestions for tutorials that you'd like to see me do in the comment section below. And I'll see you next week. Bye!